Welcome back to the channel for another lap guide. A new week means some new daily races, and today we are traveling to the US of A for Daily Race C at Laguna Seca. Join me as I take us through all the information you need to know, along with some tips to help you start as high up the grid as possible. This track really does have everything: slow corners, high speed corners, long straight, sand, there's even a freaking corkscrew. So stay tuned so you don't miss anything. Let's dive straight in. As always, we'll start with the race information. Here we have 14 laps, 16 cars in the race with a rolling start. Fuel consumption rate is set to ×3. Tyre wear rate is set to ×6. Ouch. The regulations are only one usable dry tyre is available, and that is the racing medium. The intermediate and wet tyres are also available just in case the weather turns. Car category is Group 3. Wide body, nitrous or overtake are prohibited. Under car restrictions, we have BOP is set to low speed. Car settings, adjustable brake balance only. For race settings, DR and SR are both affected. There is light mechanical damage. Minimum number of pit stops is set to 1. Track limits are set to normal. And finally, penalty settings, shortcut penalty is set to weak. There is no wall collision penalty. Colliding with other cars is penalised, and cutting the pit lane line on entry or exit attracts a penalty. Today's lap we are going to be looking at is, at the time of this recording, the top time on the global leaderboard of a 1 minute 21.077. Now, without further ado, let's get out on track. Now, as we head down to the first corner, we want to make sure we move across to the right side of the track. We've got two braking markers. We've got this white line on the left side of the screen. When that hits the edge of your screen, you're going to brake, or we've got the white line on the right side of the track. Just before you reach that, you want to brake. And as we brake here, we're going to start to turn into the left. We're going to shift all the way down to first gear. Just a general rule here: these red sausage curbs, please avoid them. They will unsettle the car. We'll allow the car to drift around the apex here. We want to try and stay to the left, sort of where this darker section of the track is. This just helps us get the rotation out of the corner. And we've got two acceleration markers here. We've got where the concrete turns to sand on the right, or the tower in the distance there. When you reach either of those two, you're going to start to accelerate in first gear, careful on the throttle on the way out, and then up into second towards the next corner where we've got two braking markers. There's a 2 board just on the left here, but if there's a situation in the race where this gets knocked out, we've also got this building in the top left. When the corner of that building reaches the edge of your screen, you're going to start to brake. There is a white square on the barrier there on the left. That is your turn-in marker for this corner. So once that reaches the edge of your screen, you're going to turn in. We're going to stay in second gear, allow the car to coast around the corner. Once we go past the curb, we're going to get fully on the accelerator to power down to the next corner, where we've got two braking markers. We've got the TV tower in the distance on the left, or if you prefer something a bit closer, there's a speaker post here just on the left as well. Whichever one of those you use, once it gets to the edge of your screen, you're going to brake. And then up ahead, the angle of the curb as it angles into the next corner, we're going to try and follow this as we turn into this corner. Staying in third gear, we're going to clip the curb, we're going to accelerate through, just being careful not to drift too far out to the left onto the sand there towards the next corner, where we're going to find our next braking marker. On the right hand side, there's a white square on the wall. Once that reaches the edge of your screen, you're going to brake in a straight line. And then, as previous, where the curb angles in towards the next corner, this is going to be the path that we follow as we turn into this corner. Now, there's a curb on the left here. Once we've gone past this curb, if we can, we want to try and get our left wheels just dipped inside the curb into the sand there. It's going to help us, as you can see, just get a bit more rotation around the corner. We've just gone into the sand. It allows us to exit the corner much faster and straighter up the next hill, where it is going to get a little bit fast and furious here. So we're going to come underneath this bridge. There are some trees on the left hand side. So once the furthest most tree has got to the edge of your screen, you're going to start to brake. Our turning point is this drain here on the right. We're going to really throw the car in. We're really aiming to get towards that red curb, but just keep our wheels to the left-hand side. We're going to stay in third gear as we come through the corner. As soon as we take the first part of the dip into this curb, we're going to fully accelerate, and we're going to power up the hill to the dreaded corkscrew, where, trust me, we are going to get through this together. So up the hill, we've got 2 braking markers. On the right hand side, there is a portaloo. Once that reaches the edge of your screen, you're going to brake, or if you prefer, the white line by the 3 board. When you're around a car's length before that, you're going to brake in a straight line. And once the tree on the left hand side has got to the edge of your screen, that is your turn in marker. We're going to start to turn in, making sure we're fully committed to the first part of the corkscrew before we get to the end of this curb. We want our left side wheels to get onto the green concrete there just inside the curb, gives a bit more rotation. And then as soon as we go over the curb, we're going to start to turn back to the right. This will help straighten the car up. If you're in this position right here, you've made it through the corkscrew. All you need to do now is take the second part of the corkscrew, which is the downhill right-hand curb. You're going to accelerate and then slightly lift off as soon as you get to the middle of the curb, but then power on through where we're going to find our next braking marker. Well, actually, we're not going to brake here. So once the tree trunk on the left-hand side reaches the edge of your screen, you're going to lift. We're going to lift for quite a while here. So we're going to remain off the throttle, allow the car to coast. And as you come up to this curb where it restarts on the white paint here, that's where you're going to pick up the throttle, accelerate through the corner, where we're going to immediately move back to the left where we have our next braking marker, where the curb starts on the left. We're going to brake in a straight line, and as pretty much most of the other corners here, we're going to follow the angle of this curb to guide us into the next corner. We're going to stay in 3rd gear. We're going to start to accelerate just as we come through the corner here to power out down to the last turn. And it just so happens to be a really tricky little left-hander. So we've got a brake marker on the left side. Once that pit building structure reaches the edge of your screen, you're going to brake in a straight line. We've got 2 turn-in points for you here, whichever one you prefer. We've got where the concrete turns back to sand on the left, or where we get to the edge of the black sign on the right. Once either of those 2 reach the edge of your screen, you're going to start to turn into the corner, shifting all the way down to 1st gear, allowing the car to coast. And once we get past that red sausage on the inside of the curb, we're going to start to accelerate out, use as much of the curb on the exit as you can. You can see we've got both of our left wheels right across the white line. We've got both of our right wheels on the green concrete, but just be careful not to go in the gravel there. And as we accelerate down the pit straight, we'll just keep to the right hand side for the shortest run to the line, and that is a 1 minute 21.077. And phew, there we have it, a lap around Laguna Seca. Let me know in the comments if this has helped you out, and feel free to drop by any time this week to let me know how you're getting on. Have fun and race well. It would be great if you could consider subscribing to the channel so you never miss another lap guide. And why not drop into one of our Gran Turismo live streams? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.